I love property, and I think you should consider, continue your love or fall in love or maybe trying to reconnect with property, is that property doesn't panic. And I think we would agree, maybe we agree, maybe we disagree. Please feel free to disagree with me as long as it's respectful. We live in a democracy. But one of the things that I love about property is like in a relationship, when you're angry, sometimes the best thing you can do is say nothing. Well, in most cases, the things you say when you're angry really don't do anything to build a successful, lasting, loving relationships. So property prices don't panic. Now, unlike, when you're in the stock market, when things happen so fast, and then, you're thinking, oh my gosh, the property market has gone down 20%, I must just sell. And, there's lots of research that shows that those people that sell when they panic are always the net losers. Now, one of the things I love about property doesn't panic, okay? It's a very slow, big tanker, but also you cannot act in panic because it's not like you can go and sell a property in a day, right? But normally by the time, you are thinking about this, the panic is subsidized and you can actually reconnect with your property love. And let me see, there is... So replacement cost, is that the price of existing a house? No, a replacement cost, thank you for asking the question, Yasmin. Replacement cost is simply what would it cost to build the house again if that property had to be, let's call it, flattened by an earthquake, okay? Obviously, there's the value of the land and then there's a replacement cost. So great question, by the way. So love property doesn't panic. Now, another reason that that I bring to your attention in terms of loving property is this is very fundamental in terms of the laws of supply and demand, is that over the next 8 years, about 7 million South Africans will reach the average first-time buyer age, which is currently anything between 34 and 35 years old, okay? So 34 to 35. And that simply means, like, for all of you property fans online, what does it mean? Well, it means that a lot of these 7 million people will, want to buy. And this is actually a brand new demand on the property market that didn't exist. These are new, fresh, call it buyers. And, we are not going to build another 7 million properties or houses in the next 8 years, right? Which means that supply is more or less fixed, but demand is going up. From my fancy degree of very expensive business school back in Europe before I moved to South Africa in '99, that's one of the things one of the very few things I remember: supply and demand, supply and demand. So when demand goes up and supply cannot go up very fast, like property prices are going up, right? We don't have to be a genius. We don't have to be a rocket scientist. And that's another thing I like about property. You can make money, lots of money, and welcome to the property kings and queens from Blantina, from Limpopo. I love that. We actually call ourselves hackers. And I'll tell you what a hacker is later on today. But property kings and queens, I will take that as well, Mopeledi. So welcome from Limpopo. So all the regions are coming in fast, and all the provinces are coming in fast and furious. The other reason, which I think is critical, focusing on, the fundamentals of the property market in South Africa, is mass urbanization. Now, I'm streaming live from Johannesburg. Out of the 22 years that I spent in South Africa, I spent about 17 in Gauteng and about 5 in the Western Cape. And Gauteng certainly, has got busier and busier and busier. Now, you can see the data here from the census. 1996, 7.3 million people. 2016, which is 20 years, which is in the life of a country, is a lot and nothing at the same time. That number almost doubled. That's another 6 million people. And Gauteng has not gone any bigger, right? And in actual fact, in a way, it's gone smaller because everybody wants to go in the same place. And then, in case you're wondering, but people are leaving Gauteng in droves because you're reading all these fancy articles of these fancy people on the press, that is absolute nonsense. Now, up-to-date data, from Stats SA up to 2021, tell us that mass urbanization has actually continued despite the pandemic. And, it will actually accelerate after the pandemic, means that in Gauteng, we had an additional 1 million people, which means that we're now at 14.4 million people, which means that in 25 years, the number has doubled, right? Is that a good thing or a bad thing for the property market? Let's see, all of you online, let me know, how do you feel about this mass urbanization? Why I've got this smile on my face to say, "Ooh, I love it. I love it because there is more customers, more people." And what have all these people got in common? What have all these extra 7 million people got in common? While I drink my sort of magic juice, let me know what I've got in common. Come, let's get interactive. Good. It's good. Shah is actually great. I like good, but I prefer great. Yes, Shah, absolutely. Let me see. Shah, you're actually asking private. So, Yasmini says you're seeing articles, everybody is relocating to Cape Town. No, everybody is not relocating to Cape Town. Some people are going to Cape Town, but a lot more people are continuing and will continue to move to Cape Town. There are opportunities in Cape Town. There are opportunities in Gauteng for those that understand, the property market. And really today, you're making a wonderful investment of your time, while you could be sort of like at the mall, just spending money to buy things and to impress people you don't even like. So great. Let me see if there's any questions, any comments. Otherwise, we're going to continue with these fundamentals of the property market. I guess I can define myself as a Joburg boy. As much as I grew up in the city of Milan, I'm sort of a city slicker, but city of Joburg is my home. And look at this Deutsche Bank, released a piece of research that mass urbanization creates high property demand. Blantina, you're 100% right. So homes for the mass, wealth, if you actually know what to do and how to do it. Just city of Joburg is going to be a mega city, the first mega city in Southern Africa by 2030. And again, Joburg is not getting any bigger. So growing market, big market, and, be careful of just the stuff you read, published by, normally is the real estate agents that wants you to buy a property on the coast. And the other thing is, I really like this quote by Warren Buffett.